Math Blast 15. Multiply and divide within 100. Solve. 7 times 3. 7 times 3 means I have 7 groups of 3. So I'm going to skip count by 3's 7 times. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 3 is 21. 7 times 6 is 7 groups of 6. So this time I'm going to skip count by 6's, and I need to do that 7 times. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. Here I have 7 groups with 6 added to each group. So 7 groups of 6 is 42. 30 divided by 3 equals, well, one way I could solve this is by asking myself, if 30 divided by 3 equals something, then something times 3 equals 30. And I know 10 times 3 is 30. 30 divided by 6 equals something. So something times 6 has to equal 30. And that would be 5. 5 times 6 is 30. I could also solve these through equal sharing. If I have 30, I can divide those or share them equally among 3 groups, and I would find that there are 10 in each group. In the same case here, 30 could be equally shared among 6 groups, and we would find that there are 5 in each group. Two-step word problems. Carlos bought 100 baseball cards on Monday and 130 baseball cards on Thursday. Then he gave 50 baseball cards to his brother for his birthday on Saturday. How many baseball cards does Carlos have left? Well, let's first figure out how many baseball cards Carlos had for Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to put those together. Carlos had 100 on Monday and 130 on Tuesday. And so when I add the cards he had from both days, I find that he had 230 cards. Then he gave 50 baseball cards to his brother on Saturday. So we're going to take those away from Carlos's cards. He gave them away. Now, I have 0 minus 0, which is 0. And I have 3 tens minus 5 tens. I don't have enough tens, so I'm going to come over and borrow one of my hundreds, which leaves 100. And the 100 that I borrow from here, I'm going to decompose into tens. That's 10 tens. 100 is 10 tens, plus the 3 tens that was already here. That's why that's a 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. These are tens. And 1 minus 0 is 100. And so 180. Let's make sure I answer the question. How many baseball cards does Carlos have left? Carlos has 180 cards left. Multiplying multiples of 10. 5 times 30. I'm going to look at this 30 as a unit form number because that gives me a basic fact. 5 times 3 tens. 30 is 3 tens. And I know 5 times 3 is 15. So this would be 15 tens. And I write 15 tens as 150. 3 times 40 is the same thing as 3 times 4 tens. Now 3 times 4 is 12, and we're talking about tens. So 12 tens is 120. Area. Find the area of the rectangle by tiling it. Well, tiling it means we can fill in the rest of our squares, the square units that cover the surface of this two-dimensional shape. That's what area is, the number of square units that covers the two-dimensional figure. And so when I finish tiling it, I find that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 square units. I can also solve that by realizing that area can be determined by multiplying the length. For rectangles, we multiply the length times the width. And so here I have rows, there are 3 rows, and here I have my columns, there are 5 columns. And so 3 groups of 5, or 3 times 5, would give me 15. Again, since we're talking about area, we want to make sure we call these square units. Line plots. Reagan measured leaves and recorded the data below. There are 5 leaves with data for each leaf, and the line plot starts at 1 inch mark. They want us to use X's to show the data. So leaf 1 is 1 inch. I'm going to go to the 1 and put an X above that. I will put an X above the number each time it's represented in my data set. Leaf 2 is 2 3/4 inches. Leaf 3 is 1 3/4 inches. Leaf 4 is 2 1/2 inches. And leaf 5 is 1 inch. Now I already have an X here, so I'm going to stack a second X above that. And that line plot represents the data set shown here.